We are live. We are live. We'll be starting in the next 4 more minutes. Shout out to everyone that is joining on right now. Definitely give us another 4 more minutes, and from there we'll get started on tonight's session. Oh, another 3 more minutes, and from there we'll definitely get started with tonight's session. How we're feeling tonight on tonight's call, as you guys are tuning in. I'm curious who is tuning in on tonight's call. We start in the next minute. So if you know somebody that needs to be on this call, go ahead and let them know that we are live. And yeah, I mean like we're definitely gonna be seeing some nice moves all day today. Been look at the markets. I know from like previous sessions, the raw directional bias was pretty much correct, but yeah, definitely seeing some a lot of selling pressure on just cryptos overall. Let me see here. Give me 1 second. Cool. So I kind of want to start off with today's session with a bit more like news insights on what happened today. Was it today or yesterday? Um, Let me see real quick. It was yesterday. Cool. And then I think it's about to be 10. Yes. So we are live. Class is in session. Any kind of question you guys have, definitely let us know inside the chat box. Any question regarding like the trade ideas, live analysis, projects, news, things you've been hearing from like people that are not in crypto, let me know, and I definitely will give you my bias or something that you've learned somewhere else or something that you guys want to get more clarity on. Let me know. I'm always uh, happy to help with any way possible. So, on yesterday's news, you guys seen how Uniswap jumped a good 40%, give or take, from where it was because of the recent partnership, right? That it had. So, if I were to even look at the chart of Uniswap, give me 1 second. Yeah, my laptop's tripping. There you go. So I'm going to Uniswap and see. Yeah, what my laptop is. Ripping right now. There you go. Uniswap, and it went away. So I haven't really looked at the chart for Uniswap at all. But I'll definitely be using the Coinbase application that's on TradingView. So let me look, once the thing starts loading up, there we go. So Uniswap, crypto, and I'm gonna do Coinbase. There you go. I'm gonna use Coinbase for now. Depending on the data, I'll probably either use Coinbase or just crypto um data feed. Ish. Huge money flowing in, got taken out. Yeah, that's crazy. And on our time frames, we're still on a downtrend. Our time frame, we're still on a downtrend. Even though we had gotten like a nice bit of volume in, yeah, we had just a bit of volume coming in on during that recent news, which didn't really quite move as expected or what people are already looking at. Okay, literally it came back even below to where it pumped. So now you're probably getting it right at entry before. This thing ran for good, yeah, almost 40%. Almost good 40%. And from there we kind of like slowly just made ways lower. So right now I'm kind of like still waiting on ETH and see how ETH wants to move at these levels. Definitely do see lower with Ethereum. So that definitely wouldn't cause a lot of the alts, like for example, Uniswap, to even go lower. So I am being patient with a lot of Ethereum tokens. And since let me go back up to new all-time highs. Okay, cool. So let me know if you guys are seeing my screen. There we go. My bad. I'm looking at the live video right now on my phone. So are you guys to see my screen? Okay, cool. I see you guys in the chat. Nice. Yeah. For a second, it completely went dark. I don't know why. But yeah. Since on the overall like higher time frame analysis, I definitely do see a TP here around $23 for Uniswap. Anything higher than that? Okay, I think it might be me. If it keeps going black, let me know. Let me see if I can do this. Give me 1 second. Stop sharing. Okay, let me do this real quick again. Make a host. Got you. So, uh, let me see real quick. Share. I'll do this. Okay. Okay. Thank you for thank you, Joe, for letting me know inside the chat. Yeah, I mean, because I honestly like the reason why it's kind of been bugging is because all day I've been uh developing websites right now. So my laptop has definitely been overheating, I guess. So but yeah, just let me know if if we continue doing on goes on, and from there I'll probably just pass over to the next speaker. So, um, appreciate it. So, as far as like the TPs and everything, I'm definitely looking for like around 23 area for Uniswap, and another area that I'm eyeing would be in here around 31. That'll probably be like another TP that I do like, and anything higher than that, then um, we'll get to that point whenever we actually solidify an actual low for Uniswap. Anything lower than anything, yeah. First, I definitely want to see like a low being established, so I can see where, so I can just draw my extensions for Uniswap. Let me see what's happening here. $2.21. I mean, there is an interesting candle here on the daily. Can we come back into $2.13? Sheesh. Hi, Kim. How's it going? Long time no see. So as far as like Uniswap, I definitely do see basically just the rest of the altcoin market just taking a dip lower. Yes, even though we had got a nice bit of volume, but it wasn't enough to where uh it is really just capture liquidity. That's really all it was. It's kind of like the same scenario what happened with Filecoin, and another scenario of which happened for ICP. The same kind of setup where I think ICP or I think Filecoin will be the good example that I can give you guys a better understanding of what happened. Same thing here. We had all this liquidity that was building up for months on end, right? And all of it got cleared out by a couple of days, basically just a few days. A market just pumping, basically just pumped over 100%, clear all that out, and from there it just needed to grab that liquidity for it to continue going lower. That was the overall true intention behind this move, and just kind of just the way that the main cap coins like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, like is not really showing any signs of a strength just yet, which is resembling towards the rest of the altcoin market. So as far as perpetual buys, I don't see it just yet, or leverage. But portfolio, some of them, yes, I'm definitely be stacking up on some of them. I know Chainlink, I'm stacking up on that. AVAX, for now, those are the ones that have a bit more better chart structure on where they're at right now. Anything else, I'm just waiting for strength to come in. If the money that came in with Uniswap actually held and created like some kind of floor in the market, then I would have definitely gotten some entries there. But as of now, I'll just wait. But who here is in Uniswap or has Uniswap in their portfolio? I know some of you guys do have it in your portfolios. Um, but this is like a nice overview of everything, all this. Look at a different one. Uniswap. There we go. Cool. Since everything looks pretty much the same thing. I see you, Carlos. Hmm. That was that liquidation. I think there might have been another chart that I had marked up. Huh. I think that low that I was looking at has already been, well, I definitely do see even lower, to be honest. This is the liquidation on October 10th. A lot of these coins are going for that low. AVAX dog, AVAX already went to low. ICP is already at the lows as well. About to go hit the lows. Jupiter still making lows. Filecoin still making lows. Litecoin still a lot of liquidity on Litecoin. We might even see like a major drop in LTC in the near future. Those would be some crazy perpetual buys. So for Pyth, same scenario where it actually went below or swept the lows, the wick here on October 10th. So this is something that I will be looking at for to bounce out of this area anytime soon. But first, I just want to see how everything aligns with Solana since Pyth is under the Solana network. And I've been seeing a lot of data feeds are being used by Pyth, which is pretty cool. So as far as like doing like your backend research, look up Pyth and like I know they had a partnership with some government department. So it was like really like what sometime fourth quarter last year. Don't know the exact month, but you could definitely see the entire move, which it was happened. So it was in August. I definitely do like this project long term just because of a lot of government departments are basically using it. I know other trading platforms are using Pyth, and it just makes sense. And since it's on in the Solana blockchain, that's another check mark. Filecoin, LTC, Solana, ETH. I'm gonna look at the main caps for now. So for BTC, I'm not sure if I went over it already. Um, on the smart time frames, I know on previous sessions I was still looking for sales. Uh, we didn't really quite come back to our area at all. It's kind of left us, which is expected. So there was like a lot of selling pressure going on. Um, that was something that I was afraid of that it would just leave us behind, and which it did. Uh, Even though it was very close, but it wasn't probably missed by a few maybe like 100 pips, which is very little compared to like the overall spread and how BTC moves. So we had just barely missed it. But can it come back? I definitely do see it just because of all the liquidity that's building up here for BTC. So I definitely will have this saved or I still have like the alert ready to go whenever the time does come. So even then, like I typically don't really do limit orders because of how volatile things can get with cryptos. Uh, I just have the alert ready, and I'll definitely will look for price action and take these sales, market execution style. So that's really what really always works when it comes to these kind of scenarios. If you have your trading set up like that, or if you've been used to doing market execution just by waiting by price action, then you kind of do have to get a good gist of how to do that. But yeah, I definitely do see going lower for BTC. No strength just yet for it to basically change structure to go to the upside. Everything's just still been bullish, not bullish, bearish on everything. And as we start to progress even lower, the probability of this low get swept increases. So um, that will be like the overall bigger picture with BTC. And where can we go to? That is the number one question, right? Whether we get a huge selling pressure off and even go below 48, or we kind of stick to around to that 57 area mark. Like we probably even come back into, even I mean, we have even though we have all this here, which is very likely, somewhere below all this here, that is very, very likely for BTC. It just depends on the news or what drops. Like it could be like the missile, and I'm kind of curious, oil market. So with the war, the percentage of which Iran or the US will strike Iran, uh I know that one's been increasing out the way. Who here has kind of like used Power Market in the past? Drop a one inside the chat if you guys have used Power Market or have seen it pop up. Because this is kind of like where I personally haven't used the this feature here. You're able to trade Bitcoin on the 5-minute chart. It's like basically you're betting on Bitcoin to go up in the next 5 minutes, and there's like a price of which it needs to go above for you to win your bet. And the percentage or the odds can vary. So right now, like the 51% chance that it'll go up, that's basically like your odds. So if I were to do $1, so that actually the odds increased. So I have less of my odds, well, less of my reward, just because of the odds increase. But if I bet on it to go down, it's basically for 13 cents a share, I guess. You see, it's a 1 to 9, 1 to 8, 1 to 16, one to 16. For every dollar is $16. So, those are the odds. If that makes sense. Let me know in such a if that doesn't, because let's say if you like scalping and you catch the momentum during some of these standard Bitcoin moves that it typically does during uh sometime during the weekdays, then you're able to really profit off of this and make a good amount with just a small amount of money. So even right now, I think since this minute is about to be over, so it's about 26 minutes, 25, 24 seconds left. You see how like the odds are like extremely high, right? For $1, you win $100. That's if it goes your way in the next 5 seconds. This is kind of is where the degenerate people will love this, absolutely love this. And if you're that degenerate person, then just test it out, right? Test it out, because it will definitely, you definitely will be glued to the screen the 5 minute, even the 1 minutes, if you start doing start trading this. So definitely, if you guys were I'm trying to be selective with my words. If you guys were part of the platform or part of the community way back, you were informed about you're definitely knowledgeable when it comes to high frequency trading. Let's put it that way. Um, so yeah, that definitely gives me that vibes. But it's pretty cool. You can do it on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and they recently just added Solana as well. So if you're wanting to, of course, trade Bitcoin on the 15-minute time frame, and if you like betting, this is the place for you. But you do need a VPN, right? So you need a VPN to access public markets. The You can always download a free VPN on your phone, and you can connect it to. Usually, I always get connected to Spain. Uh, if it doesn't let you right off the bat with any of the country, then just switch to another one that will work. So That's kind of really what I've used. So U.S. strikes Iran by there's 6% on the on. So as we go by June 30th. Hmm. June 30th, June 14th. Hmm. Why is it on June 30th? Why is there 42% at that time? Hmm. So that's something that could happen that will cause basically everything just to tank. And that'll probably even be the move, you know, that we'll probably see Bitcoin, drop to those lower levels, probably do another 10,000 pips, even from current price to the low, that's 6,000 pips. And let's say if it's actually even take out this, 17,000 pips, 17,000 pepperonis. Hmm. So that is really is what's a possibility with BTC. And when I'm looking at ETH, same scenario. I want to see these lows get taken out. Can we come back into that into this calendar here? Or we just kind of continue on just sweep all of this. Go ahead and grab this, brush, sweep all of this. I'll probably see that. Worst case scenario, dropping lower, filling some imbalance, and make its way higher. This would be like the ultimate fee in the market that we've definitely been talking about inside the chat. Even now, like I'm thinking back, what happened during COVID, or what was like the thought process when people were waiting for PTC to hit 10,000, like when we're over here. Like I'm not sure if you guys remember it, but a lot of people were definitely fearful because of what was happening during those times. Uh, I think like one of the banks collapsed, one of the exchanges went down, FTX. Jim Cramer was definitely active at that point, and just seeing how everything just accumulated out of this area here. Good to see. Yeah, I will definitely be looking closely once we clear these lows here on ETH around 13 1380 1380 for Solana. Solana is below $80 a pop. Solana is below $80 a token. Who remembers when it was like above here? Like you guys were present in the markets. You guys were seeing the price of how Solana was like had reached all-time highs. It was in these areas around the 200s, and now we're below about how much are we from the all-time highs? 73% from current price from all-time highs. We are about 73%. That is an extreme pullback in the market. But with the recent news that we're seeing, and Solana's been like really integrated with a lot of partnerships, a lot of institutional money, then the this kind of is really what is needed for it to make that next extension higher. The overall attention you guys were seeing during like the news, people were talking about Bitcoin, people were talking about crypto, Ethereum, Solana. It happened really just during this entire time here. If you guys ever like were like actually present and noticing the news, it was talking about XRP, right? So it's it's funny because I was seeing like other celebrities, a lot of influential influence influential individuals on the blue page, right? Seeing their podcast saying giving out financial advice to buy XRP. um, and XRP definitely uh made his dump afterwards. They're buying like they're doing like call outs or ones like around $2 and like above $2.50. Yeah. So yeah, definitely saw a lot of people giving out advice that on crypto that has no knowledge whatsoever. So and they're down. So I know for sure I did. I took out profits on XRP around here around these highs. Uh, so glad I did. BTC, go back to Solana, total one. As far as like where we can travel down to with Solana on the smart time frame, same scenario of which is being printed out with BTC, ETH, same thing, same structure. Yeah, I definitely do see it come back lower, possibly even like to like the 50 area zone. Yeah, I definitely do see Solana hitting like the 50 area zone when it comes down to it. Do you guys have like any areas you guys are watching when it comes to like any of the pairs uh that you guys are invested into or any projects? Definitely let me know inside the chat. In total one, honestly, like with yeah, honestly for me, like I'm at a point where with total one, I would rather wait and see what the next monthly candle will print out. Just because of how it looks on total one. And the reason being is because if you look on the higher time frames, there's not really anything. There's no imbalance. There's no institutional candle. There's not really for me to go based off of, on which why this would hold in here. I mean, the only thing I really see is like it going below that. If that were to happen, then that would be a nice reaccumulation schematic. I mean, yes, we probably have this small little institutional order block here, right? Probably might have that. Let me see if you guys are seeing in the chat. Cool. See what time it is. Cool. So it's 10:30. I definitely will go on a few more charts and I'll pass it over to the next speaker. Total three, same thing. Um, I really want to see how aggressive we get a pullback on alts if Bitcoin and Ethereum starts to even pull back lower. I'm still stacked up on like the main ones like Chainlink and AVAX since they're like have more of a better structure than the rest of the market. Since you guys been noticing how all of them just been creating new lows, so I'm not even like touching that at all just yet. BTC dominance. We've been seeing how air just been still in the zone for quite a maybe like 4 months. It's been on there for quite some time already. So now we're just waiting for it to just it's squeezing. I like when price are squeezing in these areas in here. That tells me that money is building up, liquidity is building up, giving like the right intention, waiting for the right intention for these institutions to make his move to clear out as many people as possible, whether it's in alts, leverage, you name it. So I like when price is bunching up like this. When I see on like any other chart, because it's just a matter of time before it snaps, just like a rubber band. The more you pull it, and if you pull like long enough, then it's gonna snap. What's gonna happen with crypto when that happens? You'll see. Dominance, XRP, chain link. We got chain link real quick. Yeah, all my targets are the same. Everything the same from like last call. Let me see. Yeah, I mean, I have like a play here and having like another really really aggressive play down here, but that is worst case scenario. And as far as a particular topic that I want to go over was NFTs. I haven't really looked at NFTs in a while in past like few months, but even stacking good NFTs that have good utility at these levels for Solana or even Ethereum overall, these will be absolute discounts in the market. I'm going to Magic Eden first. I'm kind of curious what are some we have the Ordanios. Hmm. So with the Ordanios, right? It is built inside the Bitcoin network. That's really what really makes this unique. Like you if you tell like the average person, if you're talking about, NFTs, they might have been of course knowledgeable as far as like the Solana network, the Ethereum, but nobody really knows that, a lot of different projects are being built inside the Bitcoin network. And so quote unquote inscriptions, right? Um, that's kind of really what makes this unique and very, very undervalued from what is being presented here. Virginia's Maxis, 800, 627 floor price, 10K listed, max, 10K, 10K, 2, Pizza Ninjas at 600. Runestones, been seeing a lot about that, but that's a whole bunch of that's in supply overall. Maxi, what's that one? Maxi Biz. Yeah, I'm definitely even at these prices, I will definitely be looking at some more Daniels. Actually, did remind me. So I definitely will be looking at some NFTs, and if you see one, then I definitely will provide all the informational background that I found upon it for that NFT. I know they have the master packs, so each master packs have their own unique value, and there's like a baseline for you to buy one, and you basically just uh, a luck of the draw. If you do get one that is either like the same value of what you bought one, or less, or even like way more, depending on the percentage that it gives you as far as like the common, and the rarity of the Pokemon cards. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of dinosaurs at 14 Solana. D gods. How much is a pudgy penguin? There's 14 Solana. How much is that? Okay, so basically, once I'm done here, I will pass it over to the next speaker. So for one, Cleanosaurus is 1.16 thousand. So 1,160. Interesting. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be looking at NFTs now. But Without further ado, if we'll pass it over to the next speaker, which is Fernando, and I'll definitely will let him take it away. But yeah, definitely be on the lookout for some NFTs. I'll definitely be looking for some in the Bitcoin uh network. So Fernando, I'll let you take it away.
Yo, what's up, guys? Hope everybody's having a blessed day. Man, I don't know if you guys caught that, but I think NFC season could be here soon. That's pretty dope to see. That's pretty dope to see. 1,100 and I think 60 was what Tony said. Something like that. I'm like, whoa. That's exciting. That's exciting to see because I remember the last bull run where I was able to make some money with NFTs and kind of seeing the volume come in to the NFT space, specifically like Solana, if you know much about Magic Eden. So that's pretty dope to see. And if you know anything about Tony, the last play he called out, was up in profit. I can't remember exactly which one it was, but I remember seeing it but not taking action, which I messed up on. But I know he was up, and I know like Neri and a few other people took action on the one that he called out the last NFT. So for sure, I'll be paying attention to the one that he finds for sure. Because last time I did miss out for 100%. I know I did. But hope everybody's been good. I know I wasn't able to hop on the last call. Honestly, a lot has been going on. Shout out to everybody that was here in Dallas, Texas for the convention that we had. Came out really dope. Honestly, I was it was really good to see a lot of you guys in person. Like I don't know if you guys understand. Like sometimes you do the calls and you see people's names and then but they don't have their profile on there and you kind of like you just have a picture of who they are, but like meeting somebody in person and kind of seeing how what you have said or what you have done has like kind of helped them in certain ways. It's pretty dope to see. Honestly, that's one of the biggest reasons why I do my best to always, provide as much as I can. But shout out to you guys. It was pretty dope coming out to that event. But coming into a little bit more crypto, if you guys see, what I like to do, here on CoinGecko, I like to look at these first pairs and like obviously like I just like to look at the color, keep it simple. Obviously, they're slightly up. They're slightly up, nothing too crazy in the past 7 days. Slightly up, which is, you know. Good to see. Good to see. But just like Tony was saying, I do want to see, some coins probably make some retracements, probably look for a re-entry. I'll talk a little bit more about cash flow that I've been kind of looking at. Honestly, it was like one of my clicking moments from convention was can't remember J7. I can't remember the educator's name. I don't know why. But she teaches that strategy and then like cuz me when I was at that convention, I was like student mode. Like I wanted to learn. I wanted to see what's out there. What am I missing? What have I not been plugging into? And kind of seeing how she trades. And it made me want to come look at, Caspa. And then kind of based off from what I've just seen just on her presentation, I kind of seen it match up with Caspa. So I do want to see what it does at this entry. Obviously, I do want to see what matches up with other tokens, specifically like crypto and things like that. I mean, Bitcoin specifically. But I do have this one as a specific entry that I want to look at, knowing that she's more of an intraday trader, but she likes to catch big moves. So I honestly like reversal type entries. That's always been kind of the thing that I personally like to try to catch. So I kind of liked it. If you haven't heard J7, something that I'm slowly getting into a little bit more, trying to catch into it. It looked very simple the way she explained it, so why not? I'm always a student, so I'm always wanting to learn more. So I'll be looking at this, see how it does, but I will be watching her courses, right? But I did want to bring this helium portion up real quick because I saw somebody bring it up in a chat that I'm in. And if you guys seen, they actually have 50% off right now. So I always talk about helium because honestly, it's made me money. And if it makes me money and it wasn't too hard to do, and I can show other people how to do it, I'm gonna do it. It is what it is. I'm a promoter, I don't care. But I really like helium, and I saw this discount, which to me it makes sense. You can win one of these miners right here, $125. You can get the outdoor ones, but personally, I've only had experience with these smaller ones. $125 investment to make some money. It's minor, keep in mind. But if you are going to be trying to get one of these, I do highly recommend you guys to see if you can find an area you can put it somewhere where there's a lot of traffic. Like, shout out to Carlos. He's at a barber shop. He has one of the miners at the barber shop. What do a lot of people do at barbershops? They use their phone. A lot of people, if you really look at it, if you ever been to a barbershop, people that didn't make appointments, always make your appointments. But if you didn't make an appointment, you always see them scrolling on their phone or whatever. And you see people watching TV, movies and things like that on the TV that uses the Wi-Fi and stuff. So just keep that in mind. With these miners, you're able to make money. So personally, I do recommend to try if you want to get one of these miners, you do want to have it at a specific location that's gonna have traffic. If you're gonna put it in your house, it's gonna be a little bit more difficult unless you're like downtown Dallas, downtown, what is another state out there, a city out there? San Francisco, whatever a downtown area that probably a lot of people are passing by, whether it's day, whether it's night. I would probably look into it, right? But if you're gonna want to get one of these, could be a really good chance to get it. Just keep in mind, um, I seen people out here that, they didn't have an area to put it, but they went to go hustle. They went to barber shops, they went to restaurants, they went to Starbucks, coffee shops, new places where, you can talk to the owner, be like, look, I can put this here, maybe I'll give you a cut, maybe we agree on something, whatever you want to do. But trust me, guys, this is I seen one, I think it was at I seen it too. It wasn't this one specifically, but if you look at this one specifically, this one had 850 daily users. They made 770 helium tokens in the past 21 days, right? It wasn't this one that I saw. It was a different one. But if we put this one in perspective, like I want to put this in perspective because right now I've talked to quite a bit of people, and like I've talked to people in chats and things like that and discords and stuff, and they see this and like they're like, only 770 helium tokens, right? But let me put this in perspective, right? So let's go over here and let's go to helium, right? Go to helium, and it was 770, I think. I can't remember exactly. But if you come down here and you put seven, oops, 770, right? Let me just confirm that I'm correct. Yes, they made 770 helium tokens in the past 21 days, right? 770 helium tokens is $681. But keep this in mind right now, crypto is down. Crypto is down. So imagine you're able to get your miner, you're able to put in a good location, you're making these tokens, right? It may not be worth a lot right now, but you're able to basically buy or get crypto at a really cheap price. So let's say the same exact tokens, and let's just say helium goes to half of its all-time high. Let's just say hypothetically, right? So 770 tokens, right? And let's see, what is helium's all-time high? All Okay, it's 54. We're not gonna go that high. So they just say it just goes to right now. They just say goes to a dollar. They just say it goes to a dollar minimum, right? So I mean, obviously, you guys can see the all-time high is $54, which I'm not saying it's going to go back there, but it can go somewhere close to it. But if something reasonable, right, right now it's at 88 cents, a dollar, this could be worth $770, just in a little bit of time. Obviously, I do see helium going a little bit higher than that. And one of the reasons why I see it going this high, a little bit higher than what it, obviously a dollar, is things like this, right? If you guys seen this, a lot has been happening behind the scenes, kind of trying to get covered up with like the big phone providers, Verizon, AT&T, and all of these providers. Not just outages, like this one, I think this one specifically, this article is more about outages that all these providers had, different times, same time, and things like that, which I feel like is important, you're paying these big companies money to have access to your phone that, obviously some of you guys trade, some of you guys do have your own business. It's something that I truly believe is something important that you want to have access to. And then these big companies, they drop the ball, on top of, being overcharged. Because nine times out of 10, if you have one of these companies, you're getting overcharged. It is what it is. But that's the name of the game, right? Sometimes you pay more for the brand rather than the quality. I've seen this on a day-to-day basis where people go for a brand, whether it's shoes, whether it's clothes, whether it's accessories, rather than the quality. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that specific brands have lower quality, but sometimes you can get the same or better quality for a cheaper price. So just keep that in mind. For reasons like this, I can see helium, minimum hitting a dollar. Right now it's 88 cents. That's really, really cheap. Hitting a dollar, I can see that really easily. So imagine being able to collect these tokens at a really cheap price, and, stack them up. So obviously everybody has their personal opinion on something like this, but I do believe that this is a really good price. I believe my first miner, yeah, it was my first miner. I actually was able to get it on a 50% off. So I paid 125 for my first miner ever. And obviously that one paid itself off maybe in the first month, right? Things have changed. Understanding that helium is a project where, to keep it really simple, they want to grow, but they also want to keep their investors happy, right? Because you have to think about it. How many people are, buying this token to make money, right? How many people want to make money with it? So they have to do certain things. They have something like voting where they have different proposals. And one of those proposals that has happened was let me think about the one that affected me the most. So helium did have they called it mapping, right? And basically, you were able to make money as you use your phone, you go around. And I know I am talking a little bit more about helium than anything, but I think that this is really a good opportunity for some of you guys that maybe didn't get in. But basically, they had something called mapping that you were able to literally make more money just from mapping using your phone than the phone bill itself, right? So just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. They did have some voting and they actually eliminated that. So you no longer can do that. But that was overall. for the growth of the company because they were, obviously the users were making some pretty good money. But if you really want to grow a business, sometimes you have to cut those out to, grow further. So it is something to keep in mind. And then I had one more thing. Yes. So for everybody that does have a portfolio, obviously most of you guys should have one. This is kind of just maybe something that you can kind of look at, get an idea. So I believe that your biggest holding should be Bitcoin, right? This is for a lot of reasons. You guys, if you've been on sessions or crypto sessions, you understand what a lot of educators talk about it, and it makes sense. Bitcoin is one of those big crypto projects that can't really be duplicated. It can't really be eliminated, right? Because of how it's grown to what it is now. So it is something that, more secure. It won't have the best return on investment compared to other tokens, but it is less riskier. I feel like this is a project that everybody should have. I know when I first got into the space, I was kind of told don't buy Bitcoin, it's expensive. And I think Bitcoin was maybe at like, I would probably say maybe 20,000. And now I seen it go up. And I don't even know, but I think somebody told me the other day it was like at 60. I haven't been watching it, if I'm being honest with you. But I'm like, a lot of people were like, damn, it's at 60K. Like, we lost a lot of money. And I'm like, damn, people are crying because it's at 60, but I remember seeing it at 20. So I'm like, even if I was to buy it when I was first told to get into it, or quote unquote not told to get into it, I would have been up. So just keep that in mind. It's a project that is growing long term. You know, you guys know more of the stronger altcoins, more like you can say Solana and all these other tokens that are really Ethereum. They're technically altcoins, but they're really strong altcoins that you can really get into, and a little bit more riskier. You can put maybe like Caspa and other ones on there. Where obviously going to be a smaller percentage of your portfolio, and then if you're more on the degen side, maybe you want to go into like uh meme coins and things like that, you can, or you can go into more like riskier projects where it should be a lower percentage, but understanding that this 10%, anything that I get into personally, that's more on the riskier side, I view that money as lost. So just keeping it honest, like if you want to put this 10%, excuse me, this 10% into a risky project, as soon as you put it into that project, just act like if it's lost. Because well, not 9 times out of 10, for the most part, that does happen. But there is times where those projects that are maybe new, do actually grow into something profitable. So just keep that in mind. If you're going to be more on the riskier side, just look at it as that money was gone, right? And there was something else that I wanted to show you guys. I don't remember where I put it. It's because I don't know why my laptop has been acting up. I've always said when crypto shoots up, I'm gonna buy a new one so I won't have these problems. But crypto hasn't shot up yet. So I'm like, hey, I mean, right now is not the best time to buy one because I would rather buy crypto than put money into a new laptop if I'm being honest, right? I haven't been posting as much like on social media because I just been zoned in working because I know how it feels when the bull run happens. You're like, damn, I wish I would have collected more money. I wish I would have invested a little bit more. Like for people that have been in for more than one bull run, they know how that feels. So right now I'm like zoned in. I'm making moves here or there. And so I'm really zoned in. But going into, I can't remember. There was one more thing that I want to talk about. I couldn't find it. I can't remember exactly what it was. I should have saved it. But going into DeFi Long, if you guys know, I always like to go on here. I always like to, no matter what. I like to always go on here. Volume. Volume on here is big for me. I haven't seen any big volume jumps, which this is kind of like an indicator that the bull run isn't quite here yet, possibly. I'm not saying that it is or it isn't, but I don't see any indicators on it being here, starting. So I feel like right now it's just more sitting back, kind of waiting, seeing what's going to happen. Let's see. Oh, and yeah, I don't see anything. I personally, I love this volume. And let me try Ethereum. Let's look at Ethereum volume. Take this off. Like, see, if I was to see like this huge candle like this, that would excite me. But like, if you look at this, literally, I just pulled it up right now. This candle caught my attention, and you know when it was? It was. Let me zoom in a little bit. If I'm not mistaken. It was 2021. Basically 20 the end of 2020 and the start of 2021, which was like around that COVID time, right? And all this volume came in and then choom. So this is like candles that I personally love to find or look for. Obviously, there hasn't been anything like that yet. So no matter what, I love to come on here. Even if I don't find anything, it is because I remember there was a time where I stopped doing this, and then out of nowhere I came like crypto shot up, and then I was like, whoa, 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 what happened? And then I came on here, and then it was maybe like a week that I stopped looking at this, and then it was a huge candle. It was a huge candle like a few days before, and I was like, missed it. So I was like, come on here. This on 125 wasn't too big, but okay, I'm pretty sure there was some movement there with that candle. Um, but yeah, it's already 10:59. I know there was one thing I wanted to talk about, but I couldn't remember. But hopefully it was helpful. Hopefully you guys learned something new. Hopefully you'll have an idea of maybe what you should probably stop buying and maybe you should buy when it comes to crypto. But for sure, I'm gonna be looking more into those NFTs now that Tony talked about it. Like there's so much crypto so big where sometimes you focus on certain categories and you forget about others. But now that he kind of brought that up to light right now, I'm like, bro, I need to zone in. I want to see what's happening, what projects are being talked about, what projects are doing moves, and all of that. But with that being said, guys, that'll be the end of mine. I don't know if you want to close it off, Tony. Have anything else?
Yeah, just kind of real quick. I know since you've been a long-term investor in Caspa and a lot of people inside the chat as well. What are your overall thought process with the project from now to like maybe in like the next, this year or like probably like any like price projections or like any updates on the overall
Yeah,
project itself?
yeah. So actually, I think that was one of the things I wanted to talk about. But I mean, I still love Caspa. Like, let's see. I think I did have that up earlier. But Caspa's still a project that I want. I do see a lot of potential in. I still see the team working like on their on here.
On our Twitter?
Yeah, I still see them, making the thing about the Caspa team is they like to do in person, which is good. Um but it's like overseas. Like we don't get to see that over here.
Mhm.
But I do see that they're still growing. They're still pushing to get faster, which I really like. I really like it. If just this video alone, how you saw that Bitcoin and Ethereum combined, that's what they want to do. They want to provide that security of a real, what is it called? Uh my mind froze, but they want to basically combine them, and I still see them, growing, and I still have a lot of confidence in them. Like just with my last conversation with Jordan, how he was kind of telling me how it's a really good project, but one of the downsides to it is that he sees that it can kind of get limited because of the how decentralized it is and what it would bring to basically everybody, how they would be more decentralized, where they're gonna kind of want to limit it to a certain extent, which makes sense. But I still see this, coming up. If you guys seen, I seen a lot of like what is that guy's name? The one that like had a big case with Trump or something like that, where he was possibly gonna be. I don't know if he talked about it last week, but how he was the creator of Bitcoin and stuff like that. Um, but like to me, I feel like if something were to come out like that and people were to probably dump it, which I don't believe so, this could be something that could actually take place where this Casper can actually run. But for exchanges, I don't see Casper getting any big exchanges anytime soon. Like from my point of view and what I've been looking at, for Casper to get big exchanges like Coinbase and Kraken and all of the big ones that are needed for it to grow, is it first has to run minimum break all-time highs, which if I'm not mistaken has been like 21, well, recent 21 cents. If I'm not mistaken, it was 21 cents. So for it to have that possibility of really running, first it has to break all-time highs. That has to happen. After that happens, it's going to be listed to these big exchanges, which will then push it to creating obviously new all-time highs. Um, but I still think that it could happen this year. It really Honestly, it depends on Bitcoin because Caspa is too similar to Bitcoin where it's gonna copy it. Like if you ever, yeah, I think I brought it up maybe 2 weeks ago, where if you compare Bitcoin and you go to, yeah, if you literally go on here, you look at Bitcoin, then you come on here, you look at Caspa. It looks very similar. It looks very similar because the tokens are basically the same to a certain extent. They're basically the same. But yeah, for me, I still I still like it. I'm still holding. I haven't sold anything. I haven't sold any Caspa. I haven't moved any of my tokens. Right now, I kind of want to see what it does. I do personally. Um, I really want to catch a leverage buy on it. I feel like a leverage buy would be really dope. Catching, let's say, a buy leverage buy at basically 2 cents, all the way to new all-time highs of above 21 cents would be really profitable. Um, I feel like if I want to make money with Caspa, I feel leverage buys would be the best for me. And keeping in mind that maybe it may be limited, so maybe it won't reach as high as I wanted to, but leverage buys for sure breaking all-time highs of like 21 cents is possible. So from my point of view, I can see it breaking all-time highs. I would want to catch a leverage buy on this. And this year it could happen. It really just depends on Bitcoin and the news going on. But that's my point of view.
All right. I mean, you definitely went in on that. But yeah, I mean, you definitely I'm actually at a loss of words. um, but yeah, I mean, that's basically it on my end. I appreciate you, Fernando, for giving that long explanation on Caspa. I mean, that guys, that shows to you that doing your research and like having your facts, backed up like that, like you should be knowledgeable in that aspect on all the coins you guys are invested into. So make that your mission to do your research on each project you guys are invested into, and really have those facts backed up. So that is it for me on tonight's session. I definitely will see you guys next time. And if you haven't already heard, we'll definitely be going to a cruise in the next coming months. Definitely get inside the chats and get the information you guys need, and I will be updating the website as well to, of course, provide more information on that. So, without further ado, definitely we'll see you guys next time, and have a blessed and wonderful